go.
Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, you are not gonna want to miss this video. I've spent the last hour and a half on board this new Lazara UHV 87. I've honestly never seen anything like it. The build quality is absolutely off the scale. When I get on board, we're going to meet George, who is the CEO of the company and president, and he's going to give us the entire tour. Trust me guys, you're going to want to see this one. Let's get on board.
George. Hey Tristan, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Let's pretend we've not been on board yet, although we've been here for an hour and a half.
Yes, of course.
So, we did a quick tour with you before.
Sure.
So what I'd like to do, please pretty much tell me again what we've done. I've already said to the viewers they're going to want to watch this video because I've never seen a boat like it. What you guys have done, because Lazara, for those that don't know, I spent 8 years on board Lazara when it was owned by the previous company. George and his team have taken over the company and they have brought it to a completely new and improved level. So George, thanks again, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tristan. As a big fan of your channel.
Thank you.
I wanted to say that when we'll build this boat, we somehow could impress you and impress your viewers as well. And let's hope that it will work. Yeah,
you've impressed me, so I'm sure my viewers are going to be impressed.
Let's see, that's great. Right. Okay, so you are now on the 26.5 meters or 87-footer boat that is built like a super yacht. So this boat, when you go through it, you're going to understand that the quality of interior, exterior, and especially technical compartments is very different. And so let's start with the Salon here, please. And welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
So this is our main level salon that is very specific to our client. So that's a client-based design of the interior.
Yes.
Was built at our shipyard in Antalya, Turkey. And client has decided to design a boat which looks like a much larger yacht than in reality it is. And we used very high quality materials to satisfy our client. And we also decided that this level of the materials are going to stay for all our future boats on this UHV series. And design, of course, and you see the colors and stuff, this is very specific to the client. But when you come to the boat and you're going to see that you see the water, you have a field view, you have a very high-end furniture. Remember, all of this is done in-house in our facility in Antalya, Turkey, and we're very proud of the craftsmanship and of details that was designed and done to this particular yacht. So you come to the main salon, and there's, like many other boats, you're gonna see that you have table, dining table for 8 people. You have ability to exit and to go all the way forward. You have a galley on the side, so let's walk a little bit to the galley from here first. Same, very, very high-end materials, very high-end so-called Miele equipment that everybody's talking about.
Miele fridges, Miele oven, Miele hobs.
And all finishes are of very high-end quality. Few details, glass in the back. So if Stu wants to clean something, that you just don't,
It's all those small things that make the biggest differences.
Exactly. And so this is all, everything in-house. This is a design as well, everything is in-house. Now, let's move forward. And when we move forward, we're gonna see that from that white goldish interior, we're moving to a little bit different interior, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to more darker walnut wood, that separates this two master and the main salon. You have a day head, which is also pretty nice, smaller, but the nice day head. And then we go to the master suite that was as well done very specifically for this owner with all his desires. The furniture pieces, this are done for him. with amazing views. And I still want to remind you, this is only 26.5-meter boat.
The quality of the finishes on this boat, it's just a whole different level.
Yeah, I want to show you one small detail that I think your viewers will appreciate. This was very difficult how we would show and how we trim that at one side you have that dark color.
Yes.
And then you come from there and you're gonna close it and becomes
all white.
All white.
Yeah.
And when you open it, how the transition goes.
Yeah. But look at the finishing, the quality.
Exactly.
There's no imperfections.
Yeah.
It is perfectly done.
This was very difficult.
The door.
Exactly.
I mean, this is, you don't get this on these size boats. This is what you get on the big fed ships and lures.
Exactly. You don't have a stoppers on the bottom, and then you can stop your doors anywhere, so to prevent it from going over with specific stoppers that we designed in-house. So this was modified to do that. And this makes this interior pretty unique.
It's very special.
Let's look at a few things here, which I think that you guys will appreciate. This is the finishes inside that we did for the owner, and I think this is pretty impressive because that's what you're gonna get, the quality that you're gonna get, which is very, very big boat quality for the owner.
Yeah.
And for this size boat.
You got to keep reminding yourself this is a 26-meter boat.
And a few more details here with your tie rack.
Oh yes, nice.
Your fridge for the owner, with your safe.
Yeah.
All the things what could be good for him, on this size boat. And then, we decided with him to go with the loose furniture, which is something that normally is on very, very big boats.
Yes.
And he said that he wanted kind of piece of art, and we designed it for him. This all, as I said, in-house design.
Oh, this furniture
is everything designed and made by us. Everything. This is everything on this boat is
all custom.
Is fully custom. Fully custom. You come to your day head here, and you see a little bit of view.
Yeah, you got the windows facing forward.
Exactly. You have a window facing forward with everything matching with a very, very high quality, hardware and appliances that are on the boat. And it feels like kind of pretty big boats.
Really does.
Yeah.
Really, really does.
And so that's everything same, finished here. A little bit heavy because we used a heavy duty stuff, but this is a displacement boat, remember?
Sure, yeah.
So this is not a fast going boat, full of displacement hull, top speed of 15, 16 knots, but comfortably between 10 and 12 knots. So, for 10 knots, you can have a 1,500 nautical miles of the range. Yeah. So it's a very good Mediterranean or Bahamas boat. That's our deck number one, or the main level. And please look at look
at how that's laid out.
Some of the things that we have layout. And remember, this is all original. We didn't try to clean or prepare for the show. This is how it has been since the beginning, and this is all executed in-house. That's what I want to remind you. This is all the in-house execution.
Please, George.
Sure, absolutely. So now we're talking about we call piece of the art staircase. And I want to, before we go to and start talking about pilot house, remember, again, this is 26.5-meter boat.
Yeah.
And what kind of view you're going to have of all of your 3 levels and decks from here all the way down. This took a lot of man hours in design and engineering to be able to execute this. And finally, we're in a pilot house, which is a little bit bigger for standard 26 or 30-meter boat.
This is, for those of you who've been watching the channel for a long time, this is 2.5 times the size of the pilot house we had on board Motor A, which is a 37-meter.
Yeah, so what do you think, Tristan?
I think I could see myself driving the boat from here. No problem
at all. Of course.
Yeah.
You're coming back to work.
Maybe we'll see.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our pilot house, what makes us different and unique. I mean, except that, ergonomics and size, we were able to integrate this in the 26.5-meter boat. This yacht has a lot of redundancies. And when we're talking about redundancies, we're talking about redundancies in automation, in electrical system, in DC battery banks I was talking to you about. We're talking about the steering and steering controls. We're talking about all the other details that make this boat so-called long-range Explorer Expedition. We do not call it marketing words as Explorer Expedition. This boat is not Explorer Expedition built, but in some ways this is built with a capacity much more thought through than a lot of Explorers.
Sure.
And we'll talk about this.
We've seen that, yeah.
So when we're talking about electric on this boat and when we're talking about redundancies, one of the things that we did, and I was telling you this before, we made completely two independent battery banks for house. And that gives an ability for the yacht in case of a full failure of one of the DC systems and circuits. And we're not talking about only batteries, we're talking about batteries, chargers, inverters, the breakers, breaker panels, and automation. In case of the failure of one system, another takes over. So you have a full redundant 600 amp battery bank, which provides complete redundancy on 24 volt DC grid. And plus, we had a third level of redundancy that comes with emergency system, which is 400 amp and capable of providing DC power independent of a whole boat for any amount of time. So you have three levels of redundancy on this boat with automatic and manual switching.
That's absolute madness.
I don't think it is. It's a boat.
It's madness in the sense that it's fantastic.
No, thank you.
A triple redundancy system on your DC
battery bank system.
Sensational.
So what it gives, why we did that? So the question is, are we crazy or we just did it for some other reason? Yeah, we're probably a little bit crazy. But a lot of times when crew captains take boats, as you know better than I do as a captain, you do not want to think about the issues that are going to arise, especially when the boat becomes older and older. And a lot of times with maintenance and with all of the issues, as you know, sometimes either it's a fault of the crew or a fault of the owner, don't want to pay for it or so on, that you have accidents, you have emergency failures. And in case of this boat, you are not going to stop your trip. You're not going to have charter trip that goes bad. You're not going to have the owner is going to be super unhappy. Your owner is going to find out that you had some failure on board, but he'll able to continue a trip. And when he comes back, you tell him, you know what, we need to repair this.
Yeah.
But you still have an ability to continue with this kind of redundancies. And you see a lot of redundancies which are very unique on this boat and which sometimes are only done once on this boat. And we'll talk about some of them. So, to finalize on the pilot house, that's our pilot house. We are very pleased how this came out. I will remind you that we have our alarm monitoring system is bonding, and we can talk about sensors and others maybe later on or whatever you want to, and you can ask me questions, but we have a fully independent alarm monitoring system on this boat, which is completely independent, same way reliable, and in case of failure, you have another one which continues working and you're not going to have any issues with this boat as well.
Just explain again what you were telling me earlier about the tank sensors.
Okay. A little bit of the innovation in marine industry, what we did. So we tried to add some AI capabilities. And for a lot of people, AI is a marketing word and they're going to use AI. In our case, what we did is we looked at the troubles that a lot of times crew, captains, engineers having on board, and one of the issues that you see a lot of times is that level sensors after time of operation in fuel tanks, in black water tanks, gray water tanks, or interface tanks, which especially most of them don't have any sensors, you have problems that you only find out after you spill your gray water, black water in the bilges. We wanted to completely prevent this, and to prevent this, we put in every tank 2 sensors that are absolutely independent with independent switches, with independent pumps. So we have 2 pumps for each output. And then they are monitored by AI, and by the trend of how boat operates, you're able to see what's happening. And if there is any serious discrepancy between the levels of 2 sensors, your AI is going to tell the engineer or captain on board that please look there, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it is, but that is preventive failure prediction on your boats.
Unbelievable.
And that gives you an ability to know that your sensor, because most sensors are mechanical, right? Or just if it's a digital, it's coming to end of the life, or there is something wrong, or it's getting stuck.
Yeah.
And please go and check on it. But in case of the failure of one of the sensors, you still are able with another sensors to continue your trip. And so your sensor, in any way, they're absolutely independent. And if one of the sensors goes bad, you know that, but you still what's happening in your tank. So this is very unique what we've done. We spent a lot of time on it. And I think this is on a long run going to give an ability to crew to know that information they're getting from their automation system is very reliable. You know, so which I think that is very important.
Very, very.
Okay, thank you. So let's move.
Let's continue.
Yeah, let's continue. So here now we're going to the upper salon, which as you see are done very similar to a lower level.
To the main salon, yeah.
The main salon. Some of the details I wanted to show you here, that this is a very comfortable sitting area for the owner. He enjoys this area very much for watching a TV, for watching the football, or for just soccer or whatever. And you see that he made a specific request to have his game table. That we designed it, and we decided this game table is going to be part of all our future boats for the UHV.
Okay.
And as long as the client will want to have that.
Yeah.
And he enjoys this area very much. All cabinetry, all tables, all stuff is in-house done. This is everything in-house. There's nothing here that you see that's not done in-house. We have very interesting piece of cabinetry, which is a bar, which is also, I don't want to tell you how many man hours we put in this one. That was specifically done for the owner, and this is also fully custom designed for this specific owner, and part of the design and engineering by our team. And I think it's pretty impressive, pretty nicely well done and executed.
Beautiful.
We have on starboard side here, we're going to have a day head. Because we felt that it was important on this level to have a day head.
Good
day
call.
head is done well. You have, of course, blinds there when you want to use it. Of course, all the blinds are, the automatic. One thing that I remember, probably Craig forgot to tell you, our automation system, and that's, I think, was interesting. So you will see that we don't have any switches on board. There's no switches. So everything is controlled by centralized system that is from the American Burned RTI. So we decided that this is going to be our standard on every boat. It's a very, very high end and very simple that controls media, lighting, climate control, and curtains. So we are able to control everything on every level from this system, which is also fully redundant. So in case of failure,
so this fails, you have
another one. You have a backup. Yes, exactly. So there is a backup because you don't want to have a failure your entertainment.
You've got an entire system like this that controls all the lighting, AV throughout the boat, and you've got a redundancy, a backup for it.
Yes, because my question always is, what if it fails? I'm always asking this. I mean, I'm a little bit crazy, and in that way that I know what the boats are. Boats are, in a harsh environment, and failures happen all the time. And we felt that we need to design some different kind of product that will give you an ability for user, for owner, not to know any of the things what we're talking about today. I mean, of course, owners don't care about this, but his things are going to work. And then you see that we also specifically only control that would put on the side is a control for the air conditioner. So we have an air conditioning control integrated here, but another backup is another air conditioner control here.
Okay.
So that is a full backup for the air conditioner and a control on both levels.
Wow.
Everything else is backed up by the RTI inside, and that's what you see down there. And let's see what's...
Well, guys, let us know so far your thoughts on the boat in the comments box below.
Okay, well, so let's just go outside. We have a little bit of wind here. Might be a wind.
We might get some wind noise on the mic, so we'll try keep our back to the wind if we can.
So that's the lounge area here.
Yep.
And then you see on a lounge area, there's a large seating here, and that's a sun pad.
Yes.
This is all enclosed. You can have a canopy on top.
Right, yeah.
There. But I want you to look at your anchor system, Tristan, and tell me if this is an anchor system on 26.5 meter boat. I'll tell you that I'll tell you that you can use this on a 50 meter boat, but we specially oversized our anchoring system, use a very high-end, quick super yacht equipment for our anchor arrangement.
This is bigger than what we had on the San Lorenzo 122.
Absolutely, because I'm telling you, this is used on some of the 45 meters, and this is 26.5 meter boat. Okay. So I want to show you a storage compartment. That's, I think you will be interested. So this is a storage for you guys as a crew. Let me open this up and show you the storage area on a 26.5 meter boat. And remember, right now we have all the owner's personal items stored there, and you just can't see it. So you could have whatever you want to. I mean, you know, this is a size that you could have another crew quarters here if you wanted to, but we decided this storage is so important that we wanted to have a massive storage area. You can put all your fenders in, you can have whatever you want to. You have very easy access to your chain compartments on the side. One more thing we have on an anchor chain, all our anchor chain on a bottom, Tristan, has a rubber. So between a composite, and your chain, you have a full rubber, so you don't have a noise, you don't have a corrosion and staining, and it's going to last very, very long time.
You've been watching my videos too much.
Why not?
Because that's exactly
I like it. That's what I'm. Yes, of course.
But can I just point something out here, just so the viewers know? When you see things like this, like the gas struts, okay, this area here, this is all steel or aluminium. This would usually be wood, which they'll just screw two screws into. They've actually gone.
There's no wood.
Exactly. They've gone ahead. They've welded an additional aluminium here, and I can feel my fingers. It's not screwed. They're nuts and bolts. So it's not going to get loose. And it's details like that that you do not see on a lot of boats. And it's those small things, and they just add up and add up and add up. This is why I thought you guys really need to see this boat, because it's something very special.
Oh, but thank you you for pointing this kind of stuff out, and the details that you could see is done this boat to last for a very long time and to have a happy owner and a happy crew. So now I think finally we can go to engine room, my favorite
This is
spot.
going to be the best bit. You're not going to want to miss this bit, the engine room.
Okay, let me close this.
You've never seen anything like this engine room.
And this is our access
so if you think what we've seen up until now as being really cool, you ain't seen nothing. We're going to see the engine room.
Yeah. So we now have an access to the crew quarters.
Yep. Right.
Okay. So now we came to the crew quarters.
Yep.
And in crew quarters, we have a small sitting area for the crew. We have a small galley. We have, special oversized TV that we decided that why skip on having a crew small TV. There's always mostly, TV, smaller TV for crew. We put a big TV, 50-inch. I think it's 45
that is a proper big TV. Yeah.
We have, you see that straight when you come down, you have a main alarm monitoring bonding system, and this is the main one. So you have this one is fully backed up in a pilot house.
Right. Okay.
And so what's important here is that your monitoring system, computer-wise, or your centralized CPU is fully independent and fully backed up. And in case of failure of each of one, you can continue with that, and there's just no failure. Another redundancy on a boat that makes this boat unique. You have 2 crew quarters here for 4 crew. As I said, you have a galley. You have an access to to lazarette. Yep. Galley area, and I don't know if you want to show. We tried also, for example, just a crew head to be nice. Just to have
oh, nice, yeah.
To make it nice and to make it
marble
comfortable.
Yeah.
Marble, yes.
Yeah,
and
very nice.
To make it quality. And let's go to engine room. I think this
Before we do that, do you want to tell us about the power here?
So our electrical system is like a ship electric. So we're using the systems from what probably you're going to be used to from the bigger boats.
Yep.
And we also have an ability to monitor and also to change over and take control of this boat from the cloud remotely. So we have a full control on this yacht from our location, wherever we are. And all the information from the sensors, from our monitoring is stored in the cloud, and we're able to. So one more thing what we can do is that depending on a captain, depending on the engineer on board, you might want, some of the engineers might want it more easy, mechanically switchable.
Yep.
Some want more complicated and automated.
Yep.
We are able to program this, everything from the cloud online. So we can adjust this based on the needs of the specific user or captain. And remember one thing, when you're on a bigger boat like AWOL, you have a full crew, and it's charter boat's different. When you're only 3 crew on a board and you have 8 guests, you don't have the same things that you have as from the bigger boats.
Of course.
So captain has so many tasks that he doesn't want to be kind of overwhelmed with the system. So we try to make it as simple as possible, switch on, switch off, and it just works, you know. And if you want to make it more automated, then this all can be done.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's move forward and let's start looking at our interesting innovations that we have done in the engine room. And you know, when I was telling you that this is the engine room that has now gone close to 7,000 to 8,000 nautical miles. One of the things that we asked the crew is not to do a lot of detailing on this boat, because we really wanted to see what would happen after a year and a half of heavy usage. And as you know, I mean, 7,000 to 8,000 nautical miles for one season, 1 year is not little in MAD. We wanted to see how many of failures, what problems, what we're going to have. I mean, and also for the show, we thought it's better just to show it the way it is. And this is the engine room of the boat that's gone to 7,000 to 8,000 nautical miles. And it's in a pretty good shape for this kind of boat. Let's talk a little bit about some of the innovations that we did. And Tristan, if you have questions, I think it's best will be to get questions. So we have, this is the first marine boat, vessel in the world that does not have non-integral through holes. So what does that mean?
So just explain that for the viewers.
Okay, what does it mean? And this is a little bit complicated. This boat, all around the hull, doesn't have one hole. There's no holes around the hull. A lot of times, as you know, there's a lot of holes to discharge seawater from the generators, engines, pumps, so on, so on. Nothing on this boat is getting discharged on the hulls of this boat. And also whatever is getting discharged through your structural components of your main boat. And so that is all going underwater. We're going to be talking about this. So we have 2 main seawater intakes that are fully integrated to this boat, as this is a part of the hull. And so
structural.
That is structural. That is structural. You have a seawater inputs on this boat, and then everything is getting distributed to copper nickel integrated system that gives you an ability to take all of the seawater and put it to all of the users. Each of your sea chests, which we're now looking at, we have 2 of them, right, on a port and starboard side. Each of them has an ability to give, it's probably about, I think it's like 30 or 40% more than all of the users need on board.
Each one?
Each one. So you really do not need 2.
Okay.
Reason why we have 2 is because we have a redundancy. In case of you have something stuck on a way, which is pretty much very low chance, but of course it's possible, you're not going to need to stop the boat and move somewhere and clean it. Another very cool thing is that when you see the plexiglass on the top of this is really not structural. This is more cosmetic piece. When this boat goes on a way, the water level is somewhere till here, seawater level. So you can really have this all open, and you can.
And the water's not going to flood in because it's above the water line.
And water is never going to flood here. So you really can do maintenance and cleaning on a way. So you don't really need to do anything on this. So this is 2 water inputs.
So why has this never been done before?
You know, because as you know, there's not that much innovation in the marine sector. There is, you know, of course, I mean, there's a lot of things done. I mean, let's not say that we invented the sea chest.
Yeah.
Of course not. I mean, there's a lot of big boats with sea chest. Of course, smaller boats, very few have sea chests,
Yeah.
but there's some.
Yeah.
There's a lot of explorers and larger yachts that have sea chests. But these specific sea chests that we have done is very, very different. The way it is integrated in a hull and the way the seawater is flowing. I have also forgot to tell you one more thing that is in this sea chest, which is not done before, and you have not seen it.
Okay.
Do you see there is something on the side here of the sea chest? And if you look at it, that is a UV light.
Okay.
So we have an integrated UV lights for the seawater input on a boat.
Okay.
Okay. The reason of the UV lights, which is right now is off because boat is not moving, is in case the boat is in Florida or somewhere, there's a lot of barnacles. When the barnacles or something or growth is coming in, you have UV light is killing all of this in this compartment, and you have a much cleaner water coming out. So you have on both sides UV lights that are killing your whatever it is, you know? And then you need much less of flush of your systems and so on.
Wow.
And of course, it's not going to prevent completely everything, but it's going to reduce it. It's going to reduce it. So that's another piece of the thing. There's one more thing that I forgot to tell you when I was telling Troy, which I'm going to tell you now to your viewers that I just remembered. Okay. The oil changing system. Okay. And you, as a captain, you know oil changing system. We have an oil changing system here. It's a reversal pump. I mean, I'm sure that you have seen this kind of oil changing system. All hard piped. But we have done it a little bit different way. So we have two oil changing systems. Okay. One is here, and one is on the other side. This is not for redundancy. Okay.
This is not for redundancy.
No.
Okay.
Do you know what is it for?
Do you have two separate oil tanks?
No.
Okay.
These are two separate oil systems to do something that a lot of times, mostly engineers are not happy when they change the oil on a boat. When you change the oil on your engines, generators, transmission, that's what we change. From your oil changing system, it's very difficult to take the fresh oil out and take an old oil out and put fresh oil in. Why? Because there's so much piping in between that you always will mix a lot of dirty oil still with fresh oil. In our case, one of them is input for the fresh oil and one is for the discharge. So you're never going to have a mix.
Never mixing.
You're never going to mix. So one provides on the lowest level the input for the fresh oil system with all hard pipe, and another is only taking the dirty oil out. So in this case, you have easy, perfect oil changing on this boat, which I forgot to tell you, same as the UV lights on this. So let's continue with a little bit more with seawater because we changed things. So on a seawater, you guys see a very incredibly expensive manifold that we built from, I'm not going to say how much it costs, but it's very expensive, from very expensive materials. That provides you trouble-free 25, 50-year operation on the seawater components of all the boat. All the valves, everything are built for very, very long time.
Sure.
And these are probably the highest quality valves you can buy. But now what happens is when the seawater comes to your engines, comes to your generators, then you have two separate discharge boxes on this boat. So let's say, what are the discharge boxes? Discharge boxes are the boxes where all the water is getting discharged. Now, we have a separate discharge on port and starboard side that is connected to all discharge users except Blackwater, and we'll talk about Blackwater now. Also, I think that I forgot to tell you about that last time. So what's happening is that everything that is getting discharged is going through discharge boxes and under hull of the boat, which is also structural part of the boat. So that is structural. Now, as I told you before, you have an ability to close both of these inputs and outputs, and then you have a dry boat. So what you can do is you can service and do. So in reality, what you can do is that you can do all the service on the engine room of this boat and all of the valves without taking boat out of the water. So if you ever need to change valve, if you do want a cleaning, you do this all in the engine room. And this crew has done this over 8,000 nautical miles many times. It still everything looks brand new. Now, on the output of the discharge boxes, all your valves are above waterline. That's very, very important.
Yep.
So when we're talking about no through holes, where you have a through holes are on your discharge boxes.
Sure.
So you don't have anything on a hull. But so all through, because the discharge box is in the engine room, is the above waterline, and is separate component, it makes all your life very easy. The engineering, this is a patented now, the Seawater System that we have patented, and it gives us an ability to design and give a reliable seawater input and output for the crew and for the boat, and makes boat very, very quiet. And other times they ask, so why do you do that? Because a lot of times when you start generators, when you start engines, you hear the noise outside of the boat.
Yeah.
This boat, there's no water spill coming from the hull. Everything is going under your boat. So when your generator or engine is running, you really don't hear that. It makes boat very, very quiet.
Very quiet.
Very, very quiet. We have another innovation that is on the port side, and we can look at it. Same thing, when we started talking about how can we discharge the black water, which is treated. We have a black water treatment system here, but just when you treat your black water, at some point you want to discharge it. So we invented black water discharge box. So there is a separate discharge box above waterline that is only for black water. So the haul out from here, and then you will see that very well designed and put the
and that box is also structural?
This is also structural, and this is also above the waterline. So your black water really discharges above, and then with the pressure goes under, but this is all treated. So remember, this is all what is approved, so you can do that. But the thing, what it gives you, the same, if you want ever to do a through haul or some cleaning on it, it's done really well.
Wow.
One more thing that you're seeing, that we have a very interesting ultrasonic anti-fouling system. 8 of them on each side. So I think 4 units. Each of them has 4. So I think it gives us 16 integrated to composite sensors that provide much less growth on a hull of the boat. Works pretty well. I mean, we tested over year time and provided pretty good reliability for our client.
Right.
But you see that the sensors, and I will show you some sensors are here. The sensors are really integrated also to the boxes, to discharge boxes, so they prevent more of the growth connecting to your input of the seawater or the discharge. Wow. So this is a little bit also kind of different. You see a very well-designed manifold, bilge manifold. This bilge manifold serves as a manifold for bilge and fire system, completely 2 independent, fire pump and bilge pump that serves as a fire and bilge. The crew does fire drills, the same on a boat, and they have been using this manifold. Manifold is not cleaned. I mean, so you see some of the things that this is, again, from 8,000 nautical miles of use of this boat. Few more things that probably will be interesting for your viewers. Let's talk about fuel system. We talked about this, right?
Yes.
So this makes this boat.
Before we go to the fuel system, let's talk about what you mentioned earlier with the seawater exhausts. This is interesting.
Yeah. So, as many engineers probably going to know, or captains, the exhaust system on a boat, especially when it's steel and high temperature connected with seawater, there's a certain amount of time that it's going to last.
There's a life for it.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
So, and the most corrosive connection point is where the seawater discharges and makes your exhaust cooler. Yeah. So what we decided to do is use a material that is not going to make it corrosive, which is titanium. So in a part of in a small part where you have exhaust, you have a material that is going to last you minimum 50 years.
50 years.
50 years. So your exhaust period of change, which is normally 10-year, 7-year period, is now going to increase from 7-10 years to probably about 25 plus years, I would say, like that. Because, and then you see again, this is the exhaust of the boat that's gone 7,000-8,000 nautical miles, and looks like pretty much like brand new. I mean, except some marks on it. There's not that much of the corrosion going on. Same, look at the engines. I mean, the engines are, same shape. 7,000-8,000 nautical miles. We're very happy with our engines on this boat, which we use at 1,000 horsepower Volvos, and they performed really reliably and well for us and for the client so far. So let's move now to the fuel system.
Please.
Okay, so on a fuel system, we have the fuel manifold, which we have all the markers and everything. But we decided that on a lot of boats, the fuel is something that is very complicated. There's a lot of tanks. There's there's a lot of valves that crew needs to look at. And crew generally, especially with a smaller crew, doesn't have time for it. So we designed a fuel system that is very simple on this boat. So you have an integral tank on this boat, which is structurally integrated to the hull. You have from the fuel, you have two ways of taking the fuel from your bilge for main tank, which is about 10 tons. 9 tons. You have an ability to take the fuel from the alpha lava, or you have an ability independently from the valve operation to take it from your racors. So in case of failure of one, you always have an ability to take a fuel from another source. When you take that fuels, they automatically go to your day tanks, and you see that on the sides below the generators you have day tanks. Day tanks are close to, I think, 1,800 liters, close to 2 tons, let's say 4 tons.
And the main tank is how many tons?
About 10 or 9, 10. So I think we have told 13 or something like this. But the idea was to always keep the day tanks full. So because the users, this is a gravity feed, you always are getting your fuel on your engines or your generators from your day tanks. When your engine or generator starts, you automatically start your pump, and your pump is automatically feeding the fuel to your day tanks. Your day tanks are full, so they automatically overfill and go back to your main tank. So what it happens is that you're automatically cleaning all your fuel all the time, preventing algae, preventing water, preventing debris inside it. So not only your day tanks are clean, but your main tank is clean. And remember, when you start the fuel tank operation, in 1 hour or 2 hours, you're going to have a full cycle. So in 1-2 hours of engine run, you're going to have the same clean water, polished fuel. And so that's going to continue for as many hours as you're going to run your engines.
Incredible.
And same time, your day tanks stay full. You see on the side gauges that your day tanks are full. And the only where you're going to, as a captain or engineer, going to be looking where your level goes down is your main tank. And when your main tank drops to 0, and you can drop it to 0 because you're still going to have close to 4 tons, that's when you're going to fill up your tanks. So your day tanks are going to be always full. And point is that for a crew, the operation to run the engines and run the tanks is just simple to push the button, and they don't need to do anything. They don't need to do any valve operation of that. So that makes this fuel tankage simple.
Which is going to prolong the life of your fuel injectors, your main engines, your generators, and keep your, like you said, keep your day tanks clean and your main tanks clean.
Very clean. Exactly.
Fantastic.
We have we say we have a redundancy or a water maker. There's a lot of boats have this, but we decided that on every boat we're going to build, we're going to have we're going to integrate the water makers the way that you have 2 independent water makers. 1 water maker size-wise is enough to run water on a boat.
Right,
so
gotcha.
1 water maker needs to be enough to fill the water the way a captain or owner will want it. In this case, the second one is complete redundancy. You can fill it up 2 times quicker if you run both.
Right, okay,
but you'll use 2 times more power. Or if you don't want to, you just can run 1. And in this case, you see that this is pretty much not run. They've been running this side, and they can switch to this one anytime they want to.
Service it,
another thing I showed you before, I don't know if you're using.
Please, do show.
Okay, so we have an interesting manifold next to your chiller system. So this is a chillers. You have 2 absolutely independent chillers from the Webasto company, which is a great chiller systems, and you have completely independent pumps for seawater circulation input, which is coming, of course, from your main input from the sea chest, and also from the freshwater circulation of the air conditioner inside, right? Now, a lot of times, because the air conditioner is running pretty much all the time during the season, and especially in US, it's running, pretty much 24/7, 365. In case of, and we put a very high-end pumps on this, which are going to last for a very long time, very expensive, non-maritime chemical pumps. I can't tell exactly what, but it's very high-end pumps.
Okay.
Now, it's pretty much run independently two pumps, and in case of one of the pump having an issue, you can switch over to the another pump.
And you're not closing any valves?
You're not closing any valves.
Do you have like some non-return valves? How
you
do
have a specialized non-return valves, and you have an ability, as I said, for in some kinds of failure or something doesn't work, you always have an ability to provide seawater and circulation to your users. And this gives you a reliability. Like, for example, what we did now. If for some reason one pump breaker is off or something happens, it doesn't start, you always have an ability to run the pump. And so we are now fully running here and give circulation and fresh water. Everything is insulated, as you can see, all non-condensated and insulated.
No drips.
No drips. No, it just prevents you from and that's how you make that your engine room stays in a good shape.
For longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we have a same kind of PTO hydraulic system with the boat engine takeover. There's a lot of sensors, a lot of.
You also mentioned to me earlier two things: the coffer dam with the stabilizers,
exactly,
and the backup systems for the rudders.
Sure.
Not emergency.
Yeah.
Backup. Okay, do you want to go into a bit more detail about that?
Yeah, let's talk first about the coffer dump, because I can show you that about the steering. I'm a little bit limited, which I can see right now yet, because we have still some patents pending. But so we have a coffer dump like you see on a very big boats.
Yeah.
So this is a coffer dump for stabilizer. So this is built as a structural piece also of the boat. So you have a fully integrated a piece, all components, electrical components. We're using CMC's electrical AC driven stabilizers. And in case of potential failure or of penetration of the hull, water is never going to go through it. So what you're going to happen is that you're going to have 10, 20 liters of water coming through it.
So you can run aground, the stabilizer can be snapped completely off, you can have a hole, water will come in, but because the coffer dam is watertight, it will fill up 10, 20 liters, but the boat's completely safe.
Yeah, you just will have a sensor telling you there's a water. But remember one more thing, generally the new stabilizers are built the way that if the stabilizer comes off, you're not going to have a hull. But we're taking in extreme situation, extreme situation.
Never say never,
never say never. You are fully protected from one of the most important components. And now, when we're talking about the steering, few things about steering. Steering on this boat is redundant. Fully redundant. I can't go in some more details there, but I will tell you about the steering posts. So where your steering is connected to your physical
rudder shaft,
and so your rudder shafts are all designed the way that in case of full failure or if you cut off your rudder, water is never going to come inside your compartment.
Incredible.
So you're not going to have a overfill.
So you have some sort of
so you have a sealed sitting
post above the waterline.
Exactly. And so and there's much more to this on this boat than just simple things. So the idea about this boat and the engineering was first to apply the innovation that is needed to people and to crew who are serving the yachts for the owners. And most of the time, they don't have a time to be running around and fixing the issues on a way, and to give them an ability to continue a trip without interruption.
Exactly, for the guests or for the charter.
Guests or charter or for anything, and then after that, just to figure out, or just if you want to finish season. Some of the systems on this boat do not, if they fail in the beginning of the season, you don't need to fix them. You can wait till the because you
backup.
You can run on the backup.
So there we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, there's more to it.
Well, I think that's...
I think we're pretty good.
The shafts? Or that was something
No,
else?
that was something you can't mention.
Yeah, I mean, so what I can say about shafts that we are in a process of pre-patenting or patenting some very innovative feature that's going to be featured on our next boat. We're now building a 31-meter boat, dissimilar but larger, and that's going to have some very unique features of making the shafts, the shaft seals, especially in dead compartments, very watertight. That's, I think, much what I can say right now.
Okay.
But that's going to make boat.
We're excited to follow up and see what you guys
Next time
bring.
we'll have that boat. We're going to show you what
When
exactly
do you expect the build to be completed for that?
Middle to end of next year. It's going to be.
So maybe Monaco Yacht Show?
Yes,
Maybe?
yes.
Okay.
Maybe Monaco
Great.
Yacht Show, and then we will talk it there, show you another boat.
I like that. George,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it. No.
guys, I have to say, I'm not one to get overexcited about these things, but I've not ever seen, I haven't, a boat of this size with the systems, the backups, it just doesn't exist. So
thank you.
you guys have done a phenomenal job. And George's not paying me anything for this. If you want to, you can.
Yes, I can.
But it's genuine. So guys, what we're going to do, I'm going to leave a link to their website in the description box below to go and check them out. Their Instagram, social medias, so be sure to check them out. If you get the opportunity to get on board one of the new Lazaras, so particularly this one, you've just launched the LSX 67.
And
Get on board, have a look, and just look at the build quality
And I'll
of this boat.
encourage everyone of your users who wants to buy a Lazara boat to contact Tristan, and Tristan can come to us and represent you because he's a former Lazara captain.
Yeah,
as
for
I
8
remember.
years.
For 8 years. He
Yeah.
knows Lazaras pretty well.
Yeah.
We're doing things a little bit different, but this is still continuation for the old Lazara.
I have to say, in all honesty, Lazara, the Lizzie was a great boat. Well, it's a great boat. Really great build quality. But what you guys done, you've taken what Lazara done over the years, and you've just added a whole different level. So congratulations to you.
Thank
And
you
I
so
mean
much.
that. Congratulations to you guys and to your team. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you
what
very
guys
much.
done.
We wanted to stand out as a different, and I think over years everything is going to be a test, and it's going to show based on the feedback of the crew and
Yeah.
owner.
Yeah.
And we tried
Time.
a lot of things, and time.
Yeah.
What we're happy now, what I'm showing to you, this is not a brand new boat that we just launched. I mean, it is a 2022 Sierra built in 2021. We launched this boat in April of 2021.
Right. Okay.
And so, and the owner has had a very, very heavy use on this boat, for many thousand nautical miles.
Yeah.
And the boat,
can't tell.
engine room is in a shape what it is.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this video, do let us know by clicking that big thumbs up button. We look forward to seeing you all next time. Big thanks to George and the Lazara team. They've been great. Guys, see you and ciao.
Thank you.